Hey everybody, it's your brother VANSILK. As I sit here breaking down my interview that I did earlier this week into four parts about the Hispanic origin in the culture of hip hop. I was able to have on my show Charlie Chase, Coldcrush Brothers DJ, along with hip hop's first two Hispanic MCs, a Rubie D and Whip a Whip from Grandwizzard Theodore the Fantastic Five. Was able to also have graffiti artists and our MC, Mr.Schick from MeanMachine. And also we had Crazy Legs from the Rocksteady crew, who was actually the youngest person on this podcast. I'm actually 9 years his senior. He's 9 years younger than me. And we had a guest from the Bay Area, DJ Walt, who wanted to learn more about this. And I want people to please understand. I've been following Lord Jamal, the Godcast, and he's been very heavy on the topic. But this is what I really want to say before we get into part one. I wish a lot of y'all pioneers, some of y'all, please stop fudging your timeline. Play your role and your position. Because a lot of people's getting upset because the truth is being told, and I've been trying to tell the truth forever. I'm not a hip hop historian, I'm a hip hop true historian. My word of true historian is the truth. Not here to argue, not here to debate. We're here to have the discussion of when the Hispanics got into hip hop. And the first two MCs agreed that around their year 77, 78, when they got in, around 78 is when they started. Okay, because it's about when you're getting on your flyers. 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, it was non-existence. And the original B-boys were black, going from Salsa to Trixie, Dancing Doug to Wendell, and all those older guys who are older now, Charlie Rock. And I just want people to sit down and realize discussion I watch online is still getting out of hand. Stop with the African drums. Stop with all this here. Stop with Grandmaster Flowers. We're not talking mobile DJs. Grandmaster Flowers, respectfully, it had nothing to do with hip hop. Now, you might have seen later flyers in '79 with Pete, DJ Jones, and Flash and Flowers, but that was that was a party. So I want everybody to sit back, take a deep breath, and know your history. The most important history in hip hop is 1973 to 1983. And if you wasn't there, if you're not older than hip hop and you ain't 55, 56, 57 and up, you couldn't witness anything. All I need you to do is to take a seat in the audience. We didn't ask you to buy a ticket. Just take a seat in the audience. This is your brother VANSILK. Here's part one of my Not in My House podcast with Charlie Chase, Rubie D, Whip a Whip, Mr.Schick, Crazy Legs, and DJ Walt. Enjoy, learn, and if you want to use this on your platform, you can inbox me, and I'll be glad to forward it to you or get it to you, so we can spread the truthful message out here. And I wish a lot of people stop going to those rappers in this business who might have a bigger name to tell our story. You need to go to the source. Be fair and square about it. They wasn't there. They can't tell you anything. That's all I have to say. Peace. What up, everybody? It's your brother VANSILK. We We're going to have a good conversation tonight, 9 o'clock. I hope y'all can hear me. We had a storm down here, so the air conditioning went out. So, let me see who I'm going to talk to. My guests. I have to make a request. Walt, Digz, please request. Also, Mr.Schick, please request. Walt, Digz.
What's good, Van?
What's good? How you feeling?
I'm good, bro. Thank you.
We had a storm. I had to put a fan. Can you hear that fan or not? If not, I have to cut it off. Can you hear it?
I can hear it in the background, but I can still hear you as well.
Okay. Well, we're going to have to deal with that for right now. Hold on a second.
Sure.
Maybe if I put it on low. Yo, how's everybody doing out there? What up, Mick Benzo? Auto rap. Let me see where Rubie D is. I need Rubie D. Is it 9 o'clock yet?
It's 1 minute shy.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good here in San Francisco. It's beautiful weather.
Mr.Schick.
Mr.Schick. Oh my God.
Hold on a second.
How you doing, sir?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you because I didn't have my headphones on. Hold on a second. Let me get some light on in here.
Mick Benzo, hang around for a while, Mick. I need to get you in. I need to get these guys in. Mickey, I need to talk to you, Mick. I know it's 9 p.m., Mick. Stop trying to regulate. Oh, Mick Benzo, auto rap. So, Mr.Schick.
Yes, what's going on?
How you doing? So, you know what? I'm waiting for Rubie D, but I can go ahead with you.
Yeah, I was talking to Rubie D earlier today. Let me see if I get this thing here so it'll hold my phone.
But I want to say this before I get started.
Yes.
And I want a lot of people to please do understand that the first generation in hip-hop, 1973 to 1983, from the B-boys to the graffiti to the DJs to the MCs. A lot of us are like 57, 58 and over.
Yeah, I'll be 65, man, in December.
Exactly. Now, we're not going to call no names because I'm not into name calling. I'm not trying to give anybody any enlightenment. But I've been noticing and I've been saying that we're coming upon the 50th anniversary of hip-hop next year. They try to cancel out the first generation. They leave us out of a lot of stuff. They're not in. They don't care about nothing unless something happens bad or negative. Basically, we are senior citizens to them. We are alive. They prefer to go and talk to people who wasn't around and what we have done, which is very disrespectful. It's very disrespectful in a lot of ways. as I was growing up, just like you, Mr. Schick, you're a year older than me. In our community in the Bronx, if you grew up in Spanish Harlem, it was mixed. In the Bronx, my first friend, Hispanic, was Ralphie. First grade. My best friend, Reddy, Chino, and Goldie, I never knew they was West Indian because they never spoke it.
Yeah.
They hid it. We couldn't date no Hispanic girls in the early 70s because the Hispanic culture was very, very tight. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, you had like the older generations that were like that, and then like our generation, well, at least for the Hispanics, was a little different.
Can you speak a little louder? I can't hear you.
Okay, let me see if I can turn up this volume. Hold on. You hear me?
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is, even though my daughter is Hispanic, but that was 84 when she was born. We had the black spades and the gangs. You could, in 72, 73, you couldn't date a Spanish girl, go her neighborhood. It wasn't going to happen. We know that. You couldn't walk.
Where you were in where? Spanish Harlem?
Huh?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So hip hop later on, about 77, 78, is responsible for a lot of this coming together.
Shoot, hip hop
Even when they had the gang meeting at the Hoes Avenue Boys Club and Bam Bam was there, and, you know, with all that stuff that happened when the gangs started to fall down and the Zulu Nation helped with a lot of stuff. A lot of Hispanics started hanging out because I remember in the South Bronx when the DJs, it wasn't even hip hop, just when the DJs came out in the park in the summertime.
Yeah.
You had the Hispanics with the congos and the drums and the Latin music and people trying to make it seem like, yeah, we lived together, but we still had a separate culture growing up. Unless you was a graffiti artist in the early days.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, me coming into hip hop, my first introduction was graffiti. So right. I was a graffiti writer from 71 to 81, you right. know, and not the full 81, because once we started like going out of New York touring, then, you know, I had to stop. But for a little while in 79, 80, and 81, I was doing both, you know. While there was people at the Disco Fever, I'm up right there on the Jerome Avenue layups painting trains, you know. And but that was me, you know. That was and even in the late 60s you had people doing graffiti. So graffiti, even though like they put it together as a package with hip hop, so say hip hop is a house, right? You have 4 rooms. And say you have your graffiti room, your DJ room, your breakdancing room, and your rapping room. The graffiti room was the first one to get filled up. True or not true, because graffiti was before it got thrown in the mix. So graffiti, but we're talking tonight. Yeah, we're talking tonight about the music part.
Yeah, I know but I want people to remember that the Cornbread, the Super Cool 223s, and the Stay High 149, they never involved themselves into the hip hop scene because it was old.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they faded out before.
Right.
Kind of.
I also want people to understand from the B-boy sector with Salsa, Rest in Peace, Window, Dancing Dugnum, the older guys who were 65, 60, 67.
They faded out too, right?
They faded out, and then a new generation came in around 77, 78. Because when you go by age, numbers don't lie now.
Yeah. No, I lived on Elder Avenue, so I was like a block and a half away from Bronx Rivers, you know, and I went to James Monroe High School.
Right.
And then I was there for about 2.5 years before I got kicked out.